New episode of KFC Radio is about to start right now, but before we do that, I need a favor from you. We've got a new YouTube channel. It's called the KFC Radio Clips channel. It's a short-form YouTube with all of the best interviews, segments, and moments from KFC Radio, past and present, just a few minutes long, so you can keep up with the podcast and all of our greatest moments if you don't have time to watch the full episode. So head on over there. There's a link in the description below. Click that, subscribe, and then come back and catch the full episode. Thank you. It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. Your boy KFC flying solo today. Feitelberg is out in Chicago for the Barstool Sports mini golf tournament. I'm hoping maybe next year I can make the cut. Maybe year 16 I'll be able to get the invite to things. Maybe I could take Hannah Cook's spot. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully I could get into the Barstool mini golf, and maybe I could replace Hannah Cook. I don't know if the boys took my retirement from the combine as I'm not doing anything anymore. I think it's pretty clear that mini golf is different than competitive sprinting and lifting and shit. Or maybe I just didn't get the nod. I don't know. But either way, what's going on at that mini golf tournament is a travesty. It's you can't have a caddy who has scouted the whole course already. If I'm understanding this correctly, they have all the holes set up in Chicago. The tournament's today, on Thursday. Wednesday night, Jersey Jerry played the whole course like 100 times, and then is Dan's caddy for the real tournament. I mean, that's just blatant cheating. That is just blatant cheating. Oh, and by the way, Dan has said he's giving his winnings, if he wins, to Jersey Jerry. I mean, that is just like true blue blatant cheating. And now it's mini golf, but there's a $25,000 prize. So it's mini golf, so we're having fun, and it's mini golf, so that means anything. By the way, do you call it mini golf? Do you call it putt-putt? What do you call it?
Mini golf.
Mini golf? Yeah. What do you call it, Jackie?
Mini golf.
I saw someone, I say mini golf. I've heard putt-putt, but then I saw a mini putt today.
That's crazy.
Somebody said mini putt golf. I think it might have been Jerry. It's like mini putt. That would be an even smaller mini golf course if it was mini putt-putt. Anyway, mini golf course. Anything can happen on at the Barstool Mini Golf Open. Like, Kirk Minhan's very good at this, but at the end of the day, you're hitting it into toilet bowls, and you're going through loop-de-loops, and you have all of these different obstacles. So anything can happen, but they went into it with the mindset of, we're gonna have Jerry know everything ahead of time and tell us. So even if the strategy doesn't pan out, at the end of the day, you were going into that event being like, I'm going to try to take the $25,000 from somebody else and give it to Jerry by cheating. That's crazy. And I know it falls under just like Barstool shenanigans and stuff, but it is like when you put these kind of numbers on the prizes, it becomes different. Like Smitty's out there. I'm sure Smitty would love $25,000 in his pocket. Big Ev would love $25K, and they don't have a caddy who has seen the whole course and played the whole course. And again, Jerry can be like, oh, on this one, I tried to go left, and it actually turns out that, you can't, so you should go right. And that doesn't guarantee that Dan is going to, put one in. But it's the idea behind it all, the principle behind it. And I saw Dave and Kirk, going crazy over it. And usually it's like I'm somewhere in the middle. These guys are going berserk. These guys are acting like they did absolutely nothing. I'm somewhere in the middle on it. This one, I'm pretty. I think, had I been invited, I would have been on their side, being like, you can't have somebody who knows the course, who is also has been incentivized and told, you will get all of my money if I end up winning. And then there's Rico, who's I don't know what Rico's doing. Apparently, Rico is rooting for somebody to tear their ACL. When you're amongst friends and coworkers, maybe you shouldn't be rooting for ACL tears. But at the same time, the people who get all bent out of shape about, like, injury shit talk, I don't like that. That bothers me. It's like, you don't want anything. We're not talking about anybody dying here. You're talking about, you want Aaron Judge to get hurt so that the Yankees don't win the World Series. I don't think that's, you're lying to yourself if you're a sports fan who you've never had a moment of, like, wouldn't it be nice if we didn't have to face that pitcher, or wouldn't it be nice if that quarterback was out for the week that we have to play them. If you haven't done that, you're just not really a maniacal, like, diehard sports fan. Now, does that same logic apply for your friends and coworkers playing mini golf? Probably not, but Rico seems like he's always in an absolutely terrible spot, so maybe he could use that money more than anybody else. So maybe it is that bad at the Bosco household that he's rooting for injuries on a mini golf course. We have Akaash Singh on the show today from Flagrant 2, who I think is one of the best comics in the game and certainly one of the best podcasters. I know that Andrew Schultz has become a mega star, and so Akaash is always right there as his right-hand man. But I think he is, just as good as anybody is in this game, including Schultz. And I think he's always been a great podcast guest. So he has a new special out, and he sat down with us for a while. We chopped it up. So we'll have an interview on the back half. I also, while he's not here, I could talk a little bit about rap. Not that John can't talk about the rap game, but the way I nerd out over this shit, I don't think he is as into it as I am. What we are watching right now in the rap game with J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar is stunning. What J. Cole did by going on stage and apologizing to Kendrick Lamar was one of the worst mistakes I've ever seen someone make with their professional career. Forget about just rap. I am talking about successful people choosing a path and being 100% dead wrong. That was one of the craziest moves of all time, and I don't think it's something J. Cole can ever recover from. I'm not saying that he won't have hit records and still be a popular rapper. We're talking about, when you start talking about the tippy top, it's like, who's better, Steph or LeBron, And like, LeBron lost in the finals, so he'll never be considered like the GOAT. It doesn't mean that he's going to wash out of the league and be a scrub. It just means we can't consider you now to be the absolute best because you lost, to the Mavericks in the finals. That is what unequivocally happened with J. Cole. If you're not familiar with it, real quick wrap up. J. Cole hops on a song with Drake, first-person shooter, says, me, Drake, and Kendrick are the big three. Kendrick comes out and says, shut the fuck up. Stop including me in your little clique. That's corny. It's not the big three. It's just the big me. Now, the rap world went wild for that. I don't know why they thought that was so crazy, right? That was like, people say that kind of shit like on regular rap songs. Just like, I'm better than you. Like, no one's better than me. No one's above me. That was taken to be like, whoa. And maybe it's because rap is so bad. But the one thing that has kind of carried through with rap is like battling and diss tracks. So there has been good examples of that. It's not like we've starved for battles with the Drake and Pusha over the years, and even what Megan Thee Stallion said. Megan Thee Stallion saying, you're not worried about Megan, you're worried about Megan's Law, was probably harder than anything that these guys have said so far. Mm-hmm. But J. Cole coming back, we got excited. It was like J. Cole, he responded. And J. Cole has been that dude for a long time, saying like, I'm the best rapper in this game. And he comes out with something, and he had the right idea, but like poor execution. First of all, he said in his rap, I love my brother and I'm hesitant to do this. You can't say I love you in a rap in a diss track. Just don't even fucking bother doing it. I said it's like Mike Ehrmantraut says in Breaking Bad, no half measures. If you're going to go in on someone, you have to go all the way. Forget it, forget about saying I love you and I'm hesitant to do this. I'm saying if you're going to put out a record about someone, it can't be like, well, let's keep this professional. Let's just talk about rap. Like, because someone will push it to you, someone will cross the line and be like, you're hiding a kid. And it's like, well, fuck. Now, now the glove's got to come off. But I already gave you like the PG-13 version. You can't do that. If you're going to go in, you have to go all in. And then and then, by the way, his approach, what did you think of him going after Kendrick Lamar's discography?
I don't think J. Cole is probably 3 albums apart from his prime. So it's like, I think his last 2 albums were just okay, so I don't think you can come at somebody's.
So you're saying J. Cole doesn't have his own catalog to talk about?
That, yeah.
Which I kind of agree. I feel like both of these guys are very, very good rappers, but also are overrated in certain ways. I think there is an argument to be made about Kendrick Lamar's music that it wins Grammys and it gets critical praise, and a lot of it is very intellectual and deep. But there's something about, like, in the rap world, you have to be able to blend both, like, real rhymes with substance and songs that matter with hits and with songs that are replayable. And I know it's cliche and it's like kind of a joke that people say, like, do you play it in your car? But people don't play it in the car. They don't play it at the party. It's not like the radio banger. People don't remember, like, oh, that song was the song of the summer. Like, that song was everywhere. Kendrick Lamar does that's the one part of his career that's missing. And it's like, yes, he's very good, but there is the angle that J. Cole was starting to take was the correct one. He shouldn't have been like, you have a classic album, and at your peak you were bigger than me, but this album flopped and that album was tragic. You should have just focused on the bad. That would have been fine. And yeah, like saying like it takes 30 months for you to put out a good verse. Like, there is something there, because the reaction was enough of like, oh, okay, all right. It wasn't a total flop. It was okay. But then what he did on stage at his own festival, oh my God. I don't know. I mean, he said on stage that his friends were telling him not to do it, but I don't know if he needs like one right-hand man to really help him in these situations. But going out there at your own festival, on your own stage, and apologizing to a guy who was the one who spit in your face first is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. And it's one of the worst moves in hip-hop history. For a genre that is made out of competition. The difference between rap and all other music is that there is a competitive nature to it. And there is this, it's very much like sports in my mind. You have your favorite rappers the same way you have your favorite players and teams. And you root for them. And then the guys who are against them, you root against. And you discredit them and you argue about them and why is this person better? And there's something, while it's still music and it's still subjective, there is something a little more tangible about, like, was that rhyme or that verse more clever than the other one? You know, when there's certain wordplay and rhyme schemes and punchlines that it's like, that was better than this other rap. You can't do that with like Taylor Swift versus fucking Olivia Rodrigo, you know? Like, it's like, there's not a like playing field, so to speak, that both people step up to. So that's what this game is completely built on. And that's what J. Cole has been talking about like his whole fucking career, is how like lyrical miracle he is, how surgical he is, how he's top 5, how, you know, even that shit, he had a song being like, we'll see who will last the test of time, because like I'm a real one. I spit bars and these other guys are fucking fluff and they won't last. And now once you do that, you can't ever go back. Like, he must have woken up the next day and been like, what have I done?
Yeah.
Because everything you've ever said before it is completely negated. All of your tough talk is like, well, you said all that, but then when you had the opportunity, and by the way, the perfect opportunity, where you didn't have to worry about violence, it wasn't going to get dangerous, no one was going to get killed, it's not bad for the rappers or the fans or the culture. It was the perfect opportunity to be like, we are kind of friendly, so let's just go at it, go head to head, and see, like, we're going to say some things that make you uncomfortable. I'm going to go at your insecurities, you're going to go at mine, and we'll see where the chips fall. You had the perfect opportunity to do that. And then, not only did he not do it, he gets on stage and says, I couldn't sleep at night. and my spirit was off, and my aura was a problem. Like, what are you talking about? That is what this entire genre is built on. So you can't be like, I can't, like, there's no way I could move forward. It's like, that is what rap is about. And in rap, if you're going to be one of those legacy rappers, you need to have a ton of smash hit songs. You need to have at least one album that is a classic rap album that is highly respected. And you need to be battle tested. And you need to have like a famous battle to your name. And you might even lose the battle. Most often you got to win the battle to really like solidify yourself. But you can lose a battle, but like you did it and you put out a record that was respected and you got some jabs in. And usually it's 50-50. And some people are like, oh, I like Takeover and I like Ether. But as long as you're out there, but to apologize. Now it's like, what do you do for the rest of your career? The next time someone comes at you and you say, no, I'm better than you, the whole world's going to be like, well, you're not. And we know you're afraid to prove it. And when you say you're, lyrically better and you got the best flow and the best lines, well, apparently not. So I don't know. That to me, like, if you are a diehard J. Cole fan, it's over for you. Like, I don't think you can. I don't think you can come back from that. And I can't imagine like, there have been times where I've thought about like speaking honestly about certain things, and I don't do it because I'm like, you just can't put that toothpaste back in the tube. Yeah. And it's like you can always maybe say it later, but you can't unsay it. So if down the road he was like, fuck, I didn't like that, I shouldn't have done that, fine. But 2 days later, fucking insane. And
do you
so
think
now
it would have been better if he just didn't respond?
Yes. If you're gonna do this, it's better to just be like, because again, nothing was said other than stop talking about me. Mm-hmm. I'm just myself. If he said like, fuck you, you're whack, this, that, and that about you, then it's like, well, I would still say if you're gonna go this angle, don't reply at all. Because people will say it's like LeBron in the dunk contest. I said it. You'll hear me say it with like Akaash later. Like you give him shit for it, but it's not like at the end of the day it doesn't define you. Mm-hmm. But what does define you is being afraid.
Yeah.
If you put out a record and it fails and you lose the battle, people lose battles. There's always a winner and a loser. But being afraid or being like my aura was off, like what? That's fucking nuts.
My favorite I guess ending, I don't know if it was the ending to a rap beef, but my favorite like part of any rap beef was the Meek Mill Drake one, where Drake had 2 bangers at him, the World Tour, Now Your Girls, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And then Meek Mill just came back with an okay diss track, and then in the outro, he just goes, we're not going to tell anybody about the time that you got peed on in the movie theater.
That's right.
And just left it open-ended.
That's right.
And no one ever got to the bottom of the fact that Drake got peed on in a movie theater.
Yeah, you got to drop those little things. I love that. Yeah. There's been other battles that have ended. Jay-Z went down to Hot 97, got on the radio station and said, "My mom has told me to stop." That is brutal. Drake being like, Jay Prince won't let me put out this song. Like you can't put out your own music. Brutal. But those guys are big enough and have enough clout otherwise that like they can kind of get away with that. Whereas like J. Cole still really doesn't. He doesn't have that one album or that one battle or that one time where it's like, okay, we're going to like let you slide on that one. Drake can get peed on in the movie theater by his buddy. I think it was an accident or something like that.
It was by Tip.
Yeah.
You let Tip homie piss on you in the movie theater.
I feel like I thought I heard that it was like some dude was drunk and like peeing in the movie theater.
Okay.
And it like got on him. I don't think it was like, yo, I'm going to pee on Drake.
Yeah.
I think it was more like, what the fuck? This guy's pissing in the movie theater and like it's next to me.
That seems like what it was.
But nonetheless, that's what you do in a battle.
Yeah.
Is you say shit like that, You take some creative liberty and some poetic license and you and so for him to be like, yo, I know in my heart that I like Kendrick Lamar, it's like, yeah, we know. But that doesn't mean he's infallible. That doesn't mean you can't find you can respect somebody and think they're good and still have, but I don't think you do this well, or I don't like this about you. Fucking that's what rap is about. And now it falls on Drake. According to Joe Budden, he says that he has heard from industry people that both Kendrick and Drake have records ready and that they are both nuclear.
Really?
That they are both like it's not the it's not going to be like the playful jabs. apparently it's like they both went all in, and even Joe Budden, who we know does not like Drake, said that he has heard from people who can rap told me that Drake like did the damn thing. So that is another thing, by the way, J. Cole. It's like you just checked out of the biggest, like maybe the biggest thing that's ever going to happen in rap.
Yeah.
Like this could theoretically, with the internet and how much rap has grown, be the biggest rap battle of all time. And you could have rode that wave and got those views and listens and downloads and been a part of it. And you just said, no, I'm out.
Crazy.
Now, Joe Budden did say maybe that was on purpose. Maybe he was like, whoa, I know what's going on here now, and I don't want any part of that. But even that, I think, is soft. So very excited to see what Drake and Kendrick might have in store. Apparently, Drake's, as we're listening to this, there should be a new Future and Kendrick and Metro Boomin song, I believe, project out on Thursday. So people were talking about, does Drake put out his to overshadow it? Does he wait till it comes out? There's a whole chess match going on. We will see where it ends up. But like, man, it's like, why even get in the game and do all this shit if you're not gonna do it? Like the fact that Drake got in there. By the way, Drake, the only stain on Drake's career in my mind is that Pusha T like had gossip on him.
Yeah.
Like,
it was bad gossip. I forgot what it was.
Well,
it was the child. He was hiding a child.
Like he just said you're hiding a kid, which is like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
In my mind, like I think Drake totally misplayed that. He should have been more like, yeah, like I don't know, we all got fucking kids. We're rappers. I don't know. There's kids running around all over the place. What Drake was talking about with Pusha T was like, you're not even the most popular rapper on your own label. Like that the guy you're behind is younger than you. You're not popular. The only way you're popular is if you keep talking about me. Those are like tangible things about your career. Pusha T like put some gossip out about you. So I don't know. I think when it comes to battling, like if you go back and listen to the Pusha T and Drake freestyles, you listen to the Duppy freestyle. What he said, he went in on those guys. When you look at, obviously, what happened back to back, he destroyed them. Like, he is battle tested. Ultimately, yes, you have to give Pusha the win because of how the audience responded to it. But it's not like he, can't do this. So I think we are about to witness some shit. And I hope it is as advertised with Joe Budden, because that's what rap desperately needs after how bad the music has been, and then J. Cole being like, I'm sorry. Absolutely brutal. Gametime is the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. What does that mean? It means everybody here, when they want to get in the building for their favorite team, their favorite band, singer, comedian, performer of any type, I don't care whether you're going to see a goddamn magician or you're going to see Billy Joel play his 101st show at the Garden, or you're going to see the boys at Radio City, or whoever it may be. Gametime gets you in the building with the best tickets at the best prices, because they have the most up-to-date information on the secondary market. So people put out their tickets, and they have up to the second pricing, whether they are dropping prices, whether prices are raising. Whether you're going to get in the building for the best price possible at all times. They have certain sales. They have flash sales where it's, if you live in this area right now, any ticket that you buy to any event is on sale. Or certain event sales where it's like anybody going to this specific concert right now can get it for a cheaper price. They also have the lowest price guarantee, meaning if you find the same ticket to the same event on a different platform that is cheaper, they will give you 110% of the difference between the two tickets. So you make your money plus 10% on that if you can find a better deal. That's how much they guarantee that Gametime has the best tickets available. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code KFC for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
And if you look right here on the Gametime app, you can see Mets tickets for $5.
$5 Mets tickets. Now, that speaks a lot more to the Mets right now than the Gametime folks, but they are making sure that you can get in the building at Citi Field for just a Finsky right now, which is absolutely incredible. Whether the team is good or bad, you still go out and have a great time for just $5 at Citi Field. That's the Gametime difference. We'll do a couple voicemails in a second. I've been looking forward to this conversation. I saw it go viral a couple weeks ago. Other podcasts have been doing it, but I listened to it and I knew I had to have this conversation with my girl Jackie, and because it's been racking my brain too. The question is, if Pinocchio says my nose is about to grow, what happens?
Yeah, so the debate is, because if it's a lie.
Because when Pinocchio's nose only grows
If he says
when
a
he's
lie.
lying. So if he says my nose is about to grow and he's telling the truth, then his nose would not grow because he just told the truth.
Yeah, so then it's like...
But he can't tell that's not true if his nose doesn't grow. And then on the other side, if he says my nose is about to grow and it doesn't, that means it's a lie, so it does grow, thereby making his statement truthful, meaning it wouldn't have grown.
But then it like leads to the question, how is his nose knowing and judging what's a lie and what, like
How does the nose know?
how does the nose know? Like,
there
is
is
it
a little
reading
bit
the
of fiction
future?
going on here, Jackie.
yeah.
It's not actually a real thing. He's not even technically a real boy. He's made of wood.
Yeah, but like
I think it's something like anything though. Like when you tell a lie, you get sweaty or your face turns red, or your eyes dart around.
Yeah.
Like you do have these involuntary responses. So if I said to you like, I'm about to start sweating right now because I'm lying about something, but I was telling the truth about that, it wouldn't necessarily happen because
maybe it's like the
involuntary.
the innate confidence that you have when you say it, and that's how your body knows.
Well, it's like George Costanza said, it's not a lie if you believe it.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people out here, we've seen some sociopathic people in this industry and all across the internet who really start to tell lies to the point that they believe it to be true. And it's like some of these people could probably beat a polygraph, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like they really really believe in their head that they're telling the truth, or they lied for so long, like
Yeah.
I
cannot express how much I can't tell a lie.
You're not a good liar.
I'm not a good liar at all.
I could see that being very true.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just you start stumbling and stammering. Yeah. You're J. Cole. All of a sudden you're apologizing for like something you didn't even do.
Can't tell a lie for the
At
life
all.
of her. Neither can I. I'm not. I have rosacea. So
By the way, my face has been red all day too. You're probably looking at it right now. I feel
You look
like
tan.
Yeah.
Do I don't know. Something's going on because it does. It seems like I've been in the sun and I haven't been. But anyway, yeah. If you have those
it
those
comes
tells,
right up. Yeah, it's
you're
right
fucked.
away. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice in a way though because you're just like, well, I'm just never gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it makes it easy. I don't have to stress about anything. I can't lie to anybody.
I can't like, physically do it, so I'll just have to be like, yeah, my boss is gonna get mad at me, or like my girlfriend is gonna get mad at me, or whatever it is that you're trying to lie about.
I've been told though you don't always have to tell the truth though. Like that was probably better for you to keep
it
You
inside.
know, you didn't have
yeah.
to say that one.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like, should you respond at all? Again, like
Yeah.
J. Cole, it's not a lie if you just don't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be, but have you ever lied to me, Jackie?
I don't think I've ever lied to you. I don't think that there's much for me to lie to you about.
I'm one because you
Have you ever lied
can
to
get
me?
away with like lying on text and shit like that. Like there is still
yeah.
wiggle room where you can lie to someone.
It's probably like I've probably been like, oh, that was a technical issue.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Have you ever been like, oh, the SD card, like, and it's like, no, you just forgot to press record again.
Yeah.
None that I could think of. Nothing big.
I feel like all your big things you got caught.
Yeah, I got caught. Which it's like, I can't live with the guilt. Like I'd just rather get caught.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
1000%. But also, I mean, but kind of like what you're saying with the J. Cole stuff. As I get older, though, I'm learning. Like one time I had a coach who was like, he came into me and he apologized for being so hard on me. And I was like, well, you shouldn't have apologized because now I see you differently. Like now I don't see it as, I see it as like you taking it out on me.
That's
and
great.
Not,
That's
and
a great
not
point.
as you like trying to, train me into this good player.
Yeah, it's like now I know that you were being malicious.
Yeah, you had like
and
now
you
intent.
feel bad about it. I mean, but I can understand. I get what you mean, but I can understand a coach being like having some foresight as you get or some hindsight when you get older, being like, man, I did go hard on that girl with the big nipples. Like, maybe she was getting it on Instagram. Maybe I should have taken it. Like I'm sure there's plenty of coaches that look back and are kind of embarrassed by like how serious. You see that there was a video of a guy at like AAU a couple weeks ago like shoving like a 13-year-old.
Yeah,
it's like if you're not embarrassed of that is something's wrong with you. That person should be fucking in jail.
Yeah. Or I guess he admitted that he took it out on me. That he
That's
whatever.
fucked.
And I was like,
That's
okay, don't admit that. But
Because in your head, you were like, hey, he's just a tough coach.
yeah,
and,
I was like,
we're
I'm
getting
being
results,
like trained,
though,
I'm getting
so.
results, and and I don't know. It's just like sometimes you don't have to say, you have to be honest about everything.
Well, you know what? I really do believe a lot of times people apologize for themselves about shit. And it's like you think you're doing it for them, but you're doing it for your own guilty conscience. You know?
100%.
Actually, I will say though that after then, like it helped me mentally to be like, oh,
It
I'm
wasn't my
not
fault.
like fucking up all the time.
Sure.
It's like sometimes he's just
Yeah.
taking it out on me.
So-
So there is that aspect to it too. Anyways, the Pinocchio.
But
stuff?
Pinocchio.
Yeah.
But anyway, Pinocchio.
I've thought before I said this. Like, what if he just says allegedly before everything, and he's like allegedly, I'm gonna go to that party tonight. And then like he doesn't show up to the party, but he never said that he was gonna go
never
to the
said.
party. He just like said, yeah, the people would mostly think that I'm going to the party tonight.
Yeah, Pinocchio should just live in the world of maybes and allegedlys
Yeah.
and
Like you just
I'll
stick an
try.
allegedly before every single sentence, you get away with anything.
yeah.
You know, it's never grows.
It's not a bad play if you're Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Just give yourself the ultimate disclaimer.
What
But-
a weird like. Like how do people think of that?
Well, Pinocchio?
Yeah.
Like the whole story?
Yeah. Just like the whole wooden boy thing. Like,
Yeah, it's a
weird thing to
fucking
make
weird
up.
one. I mean, have you gone back and watched Pinocchio anytime
It's
recently?
also like very what?
When they go to Pleasure Island,
Yeah.
there's like whores and there's smoking cigars and drinking and getting fucked up and stuff. It is quite the scene for a children's movie. But all of it's a little bit, a little bit fucked up when you think about some of the, it's like stepmothers like locking away their stepdaughter in a fucking castle, hiding Rapunzel in a tower where she's not exposed to any other humans. Like
Yeah.
a lot of it's fucked. So I think ultimately though, my nose is about to grow.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like it's a bodily response, and if you're able to like say a lie without sweating and everything, so if you truly believe that your nose is about to grow, then it won't grow. But if you
then you told a lie.
say it and you don't mean it with your chest, like if you're like my nose is about to grow, then it grows because it's a lie.
So I guess it comes down to how much of a sociopath is Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Because if you can really say it and trick yourself,
Or even just like, does he believe it? He's just like,
because if he believes his nose is not about to grow, and it doesn't,
yeah, he's got to like.
but
trick
then he
himself.
told a lie. So it just depends on if the nose is at the mercy of like Pinocchio's brain and heart,
Yeah.
or if the nose truly just like it just acts on its own.
Yeah.
But if you can kind of control your nose a little bit,
What if you always just say I'm joking after every single time?
That's what I basically just
You know-
said.
I know, but like,
Oh, yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. You're just like, I'm joking. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
joking.
that's the point.
Because I do that a lot. When I realize someone doesn't like something I just said, I'm just like,
I'm just joking.
it's a bit. Like, what if you were just like, it's a bit?
Jackie was ready to jump down your fucking throat.
Yeah,
She's like, I just fucking said that. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I just said that. All right. Yeah. These are the things that make, my brain explode, and I can't even imagine what goes on inside the walls of Jackie's horror show
I'm
up
actually
there.
actively trying to not think too much about anything anymore because I think I'm truly right next to schizophrenic. And I think if I lean into it anymore, like I'm done with weed. I'm never smoking weed ever again.
But you unlock the secrets of the universe.
I know, but like it actually, like I could kind of see it like sending me down like a little bit of a manic spiral, where it's just like I really can't give into it. I think I'm a little too close to.
What do you think's gonna happen?
Schizophrenia develops in women like late 20s, and I feel like
Really?
my brain is already kind of like I could see how it would get there, and I'm afraid to like. I looked up the symptoms, and I'm like truly afraid. Not that I hear
Well,
voices.
what are the symptoms? Because I bet you also these symptoms can be applied to you have a little bit of anxiety and you overthink things.
I mean, the symptoms made me feel better. It's also like most people with schizophrenia don't like know that they have schizophrenia. So like for me to be so worried about it and like
Yeah.
so self-aware about it is a good sign apparently. But sometimes I just get carried away. Like the other day, like even on the episode when I was listening back, I was like, oh my God, I sound like a crazy person. You know? So it's like,
Well, but you can be crazy and not be schizophrenic. Like schizophrenic is like multiple personalities and like you don't have like you have like a split, you have like a fracture in your, you know, you can't even tell like what's real and what's not, right?
yeah, but like I don't know if I believe that this is real. You know what I mean? And so
it
if
is
I
just
let
a
myself
torture show up there. For you, huh?
I cannot explain how much it's like when I let my brain get going, like
You can't stop.
if I really were to like take drugs and like lean into it, I'd be a full crazy person.
Or is it the opposite? Is it like what you need is an ayahuasca trip that would like ease, like you would actually have the answers?
Yeah, but then it's like, okay, then what? I figure out the universe? Like, what am I going to do with that?
I've always thought that myself. Like, I don't necessarily want the ayahuasca trip to then let me know that like I really care about this podcast and all that YouTube shit I was all that video shit I was talking about. I would come back and be like, none of this matters.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the light and I've seen that like what really matters is like your feelings and you're getting sleep at night, J. Cole.
Yeah.
Like what I don't want to. If I can't do anything about it, like you said,
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
That's why ignorance is bliss on all these things. That's why it's like, don't tell me anything that I can't do. Don't tell me about the time you cheated if I can't do anything with it. Don't
Yeah.
tell me about the secrets if I can't put it into action. Don't tell me what really matters in life, because then I'm going to stop caring about all the other shit in life.
Yeah. Like even like the homeless guy on my street who I don't actually believe is who
This
I
is
like.
the one you hooking up with or what?
Oh no.
This is the
they're-
one that doesn't look like a real homeless guy.
Oh, I think he's like a spy.
Yeah.
Ah.
So then I'm like,
Spying on you specifically?
no, just like in general.
Got it.
I don't actually think that. But then I'm like, okay, so let's say like I get to the bottom of it and I figure out he's a spy. Then what?
Now what?
Now
Yeah.
what am I gonna do with that
Right.
information? Like
Yep.
I don't have any kind of benefit. And at best, people then I look really schizophrenic, telling everyone like there's a spy and he's after me and he lives on my street. So it's like there's nothing I could do with that information other than just kind of be like, all right,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's the thing is like everything in life is a fine line between crazy and like right,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like, if you know, I think with the guy being like, I'm the Messiah down in the subway, it's like, yeah, that guy's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. A couple thousand years ago, there was a guy in the subway saying that and people believed him. And then it's like, who's to say? Yeah, I think too much knowledge is for sure a thing. Even like on a basic level. Like I remember Kate Beckinsale. Kate Beckinsale has like 150 IQ,
Yeah.
and she was like, I can't even date any like normal guys because like I'm thinking it's like Oppenheimer when he like couldn't have a kid because he was like, I am thinking about like splitting atoms and like how the fucking universe is put together, and I don't want to like change diapers because it just doesn't. It doesn't click with my brain.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just live a very average life without knowing all that shit.
Yeah, I was saying before, like, if I do, like, let's say I'm right about the universe, this is not the body or the lifetime for me to actually make a difference because, like, I'm a woman and who's going to listen to a woman? You know what I mean? Like, there's not really enough of a
You
difference.
think if you were a dude and you crack the case that, like, what?
If I was a tall man, I would have a much better chance.
What would you do if you were a tall man and you cracked the case and figured out, like, the secret to the world? What would you do?
Like, say something with, I would go on a podcast.
Uh-huh.
I would
say
make
podcast.
it.
Yep.
I would get a clip of it, black and white, and I'd put some inspirational music behind it.
There you go.
I'd
Now we're
post it,
thinking.
and then everyone would believe me and have millions of views. Of people being
Or
like,
you
wow,
could just
this
be
is the
lumped
most-
in with all these other dickhead, like, inspirational podcasters.
No.
Like,
You get some inspirational music. You put it black and white. You have like one of those quote cards before that says like, that has like a quote.
Okay, let's do this right now. What do you think life is about? And we'll put some black and white music behind it.
Yeah.
Black and white and
What do I
inspirational
think
music.
life is about?
Yeah. Give me like let's start the sentence with like, life, I figured out the key to life. Go.
I don't think I could ever speak concisely enough for me
That is
to
true.
have one of these like
Our
quotes.
goal, by the way, for 2024.
Is to get one of these quotes from me.
Yes, and to speak concisely and get it out.
Yeah.
We gotta get it out, sister.
But here's the thing is like what I'm just coming to terms with. Like I've never been good at forming sentences. That's never been my thing.
Right.
Like getting out a concise sentence,
Not your bag.
not my bag. Some people I watch them, they do it gracefully. I say I can't do that. But me,
It's not me.
Like it's not me. Getting out a full sentence, well, not me.
Well, let's practice right now and just say the key to life is. Just say what you think the key to life is. Or it doesn't have to be the key. It could be the secret to life. However you want to start it, just start with the da-da-da of life is and go.
The key to life is to just party rock.
I love that.
Love that. It's gonna be a quick clip.
Yeah.
Now, can you maybe
quick
can
song.
you expand on like what party rock means a little bit?
It's just honestly that sounded cool. So
Ironically, you said you couldn't get out a sentence, and then you got out like the shortest and most concise sentence of all.
I know.
The key to life
Life is
party rock. This spring, the best box you'll open up all month is from Bespoke Post and their new seasonal lineup of must-have box of awesome collections. I love this kind of stuff. I like having things. I like having these little things that kind of just enhance your life, whether it's a nice accessory or a nice thing to add to your collection. I like having stuff that you can show to people and be like, oh, wow, that's awesome. And that's what the box of awesome is. They have you covered this spring. So whether we're talking about like leather goods or something that you can wear or it's a decoration for your home or office, the box of awesome has you covered. Right now, this month, the offering right here is a brand new bespoke watch. Look at this piece right here. So for this month, you now have yourself a nice new timepiece from Breda, which is a high-quality, stylish watch right now, fashionable watch that you can wear courtesy of Bespoke Post that gets just delivered right to you when you are a member of Bespoke Post. So get a free mystery gift right now with your first monthly shipment when you sign up at boxofawesome.com and enter the code KFC Radio at checkout. I'm actually going to pop this watch on right now. Nice leather band. You got the square face. So go to boxofawesome.com. Use code KFC Radio for a free mystery gift, and you will get a box sent to you for your first month, and you don't know what it might be, but you know it's going to be absolutely awesome. So go to boxofawesome.com, use promo code KFC, and get your first mystery gift sent to you today.
What's up, KFC Fights, Jackie Pavs? I'm in kind of a no good deed goes unpunished kind of thing going on. I lost 50 pounds recently, and one of, I guess, the side effects of it is I got, boosted testosterone. So it's like I'm in middle school all over again because I'm getting boned up just at the weirdest times. Driving to Trader Joe's, feel it coming. Now I'm sitting here in my car waiting just so I can go inside. So I guess my question is, what's something that you've done, that for the greater good, but
Great question.
had shit consequences?
This guy with his Pinocchio dick over here.
I just edited an old interview where you said that you had the same thing.
I said that?
You were saying that you were like scared because we were all driving to Boston and it kept happening to you.
Oh, sometimes, when I drive in the car, my
Yeah.
dick gets hard, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like the engine humming or whatever, but
Planes for me is takeoff is a
planes,
disaster, dude.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's the like altitude or something.
Yeah, I think it is altitude.
Yeah, maybe that's it. The blood flow.
Yep,
Plane goes up, dick goes up.
it's crazy.
That's funny because I start like crying like the second a plane takes off for some reason. I don't know why. So it's
Are you
the
because you're
complete
afraid of
opposite.
flying or because you're crazy?
No, just because like emotions. For some reason, I get really emotional.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
so
it's a
maybe
thing.
maybe we're all just feeling
Yeah,
emotions.
yeah.
Mine is me and Paz are over there being horny.
Yeah,
You're
your
over there
emotion
being-
is just
being
horniness.
sad.
Yeah.
But everybody feels, and Plane Girl was feeling like rage. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everyone's just, all their emotions are heightened.
Yeah, it brings up.
I mean, it makes sense. We throw all of us in a fucking tin can and
can,
throw us
yeah.
30,000 feet in the air. Who knows what can happen? I mean, that is a funny thought to be like, I'm going to get in shape, and I'm down 50 pounds, and it's just I got this fucking loaded gun everywhere I go.
I can second that. When I start working out again, it's like every morning's a fucking disaster. It's
Really?
like I can't even sleep. It's like
Wait, so when you're going to bed or when you're waking up?
when you're waking up, but like I'm waking up
But
at
it's
6
not just
a.m.
like
now
normal
because
morning wood. It's
morning-
like
it's like, but it's like it's extra. You could just tell, this thing could cut bread. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, you know when you have like a good one.
Yeah.
Versus
exactly.
like this one, I better get it in now because it's gonna go down in a minute.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do boners for you guys like always equal horny?
No. Yeah, those morning ones are just like I have to do.
I mean,
my day
as you get older, the random boners will stop. Will taper off a lot more. I remember when my buddy who broke his neck. We were like not sure, where he was gonna have feeling and where he was gonna, and it was because it was from the neck down, and like day 2 or 3 in his recovery, his dick got hard.
Really?
And it was such a moment. It was like we still have such a long way to go.
Yeah.
But like random boners are back, baby. It was great.
Awesome.
No, not all boners are created equal. Some boners are born out of horniness. Some boners are born out of I don't even know what. I wonder what it is that makes random boners pop off.
It's all blood flow and pressure.
Because it is a little bit Pinocchio, though. It's like once my dick starts to perk up, it's like, well, then I start thinking about, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the initial start was not out of like sexual thoughts, but as soon as it starts to get there, you start thinking about that.
And the more you think about it, the harder it gets. So
right.
You're fucked.
So it's really just it's what is your boner born out of? Because your boner crosses the finish line with horny thoughts. But the initial boned up is like it could be, you're in math class and it could be like you're watching porn. But I guess maybe when you are losing weight or some shit, what he's talking about, he's working out and your glands and whatever are producing testosterone, like it just also whoop dick hard. So it's like, hey, you're working out, so you need more testosterone in your body. That also means your dick's gonna get hard. It's a tough one to have though.
That's tough.
To just be like, I'm in Trader Joe's, got to flip it up in my waistband.
The
like
waistband
nobody
trick.
knows. Like
Never
nobody.
missed.
You're just pushing your cart and you're like, grabbing your bread and all that. It's like if I reach too high, you might see the top of my dick. Who knows? Got to have that shirt long enough.
Can't wear a crop top.
No crop tops. What would you have done that day if you got a random boner?
Gone home.
Did you see Ricky Martin?
No.
Ricky Martin was on stage and just his dick got fully boned up. And I can't blame him because he had gay strippers. Like, I mean, this one guy is rubbing his face on Ricky Martin's dick. I was like, yeah, I mean, a gay guy's going to get his fucking dick hard. If this gay guy was rubbing his face on his dick while another gay guy was behind that dude, like, pretending to fuck him. And I was like, go to TMZ, has it. Ricky Martin boner TMZ. You will for sure see it. And there was, like, one angle was like, maybe that's a pants tent. And then the second angle was like, that's a dick that's flopping around on stage. Which, I don't know.
Wow.
If you're Ricky, I feel like you got to just be like, living La Vida Loca, baby. Like, it's party rock. What can you do?
It's kind of crazy that like the amount that I've heard that guys like, they have to do the waistband thing or like whatever. I've never noticed a boner in the wild.
Well, because we're hiding in the waistband.
Yeah, exactly. But like you guys do a good job.
Yeah,
I'm saying bravo.
Like if you don't do that, you get put on a list.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Did you ever have a very apparent, like in high school or middle school, like do the problem on the board and you had
I don't think I ever had that. Because also when it ended, I just fucking.
Yeah, I had one very specific one, but I went to a Catholic school, so we had belts, so you
That's
couldn't really
tough.
do the top.
If you have a tucked in shirt and a
Yeah.
belt, all of a sudden you just have like a bulge around your stomach.
And we had gray pants,
Oh,
so it was like
that is tough.
It was rough.
What'd you do?
I went up there, hugged the board,
Yeah.
turned around. It went away by the time I solved the problem, and everyone was like, "Why is your face beat red right now?"
Yeah,
So,
that's that Pinocchio. You can't lie. Like, I don't know, something's happened. While we're on the topic, Michael Porter Jr. went on Lana Rhodes went on
Yes.
Michael Porter Jr.'s show. MPJ is a basketball player, and Lana Rhodes is a former porn star, who at one time I believe was the hottest girl in the world, now has turned into like some sort of like futuristic dystopian.
Yeah.
She looks like the chick from The Big Lebowski, to be
So it was
honest.
Ana de
Right now, I
Armas
don't know.
and Blade Runner 2024.
Yeah. Yeah, like it looks like
Robot.
something like, oh, she's maybe that's what's going to be hot in the future, but I don't know what happened. So we'll play the clip here. But Michael Porter Jr. basically says that all these guys in the NBA are used to fucking so many chicks that they fuck. His words, not mine. And like do all these weird fetishes. Lana Rhodes chimes in with eating cookies.
Oh yeah, poop in cookies.
I mean, that is. I get when people say like, it's only natural. It's like when you are young, you'll watch like any porn and any sort of sexual activity you love.
Yeah.
Then you get older and it's like, all right, like that's kind of lame. Like I don't want to do that anymore. I want to do this. I want to try this position, and then I want to put it in there instead of in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe you introduce another person. You start to do these weird things, and it all makes sense because you know, it's like anything else. It's like if you eat the same food every day, it gets boring. If you watch the same show every day, it gets boring. You need new stuff. But some things, like to me, man, it's caramel cone ice cream. Like I can eat that every single day, and I'm a happy man. Mm-hmm. So I reach a level where I need it to be pretty weird. Don't get me wrong. It's got to be some weird stuff. But then when it hits that point, it's caramel cone ice cream for the rest of my life. I could do that stuff every day, forever, and every time I'll be like, that was cool, man.
Imagine like the Nuggets PR team. Just like, you are a role player on a team that's going to win a bunch of championships.
Absolute nightmare.
You don't need to have a podcast with
But I mean, just even saying the word gonna get a problem from him,
crazy.
let alone saying my peers are fucking him. But I mean, and maybe I'm just being naive. Maybe it is like, maybe if I just spent all my money and time fucking girls and partying, like all roads lead to like, well, I'm gonna try it with a dude, or I'm gonna try it with a. That stuff I could see being like, I don't know. You have a threesome and with a bunch of girls, and then all of a sudden you have a threesome with a guy, and things were like, okay, I don't know, maybe I'll try that. Eating a shit cookie is where, you know, it's like, okay, you wanted to pee on someone or get peed on. I don't know. We all do weird stuff with bodily fluids when we're having sex. That's a bridge that a lot of people don't cross, but you did. You're interested in guys, like plenty of people are. You want it to be rough, whatever. Where does that go to, I want to eat a shit cookie?
It's crazy.
What does that mean? Because also, all of your weird fetish stuff happens, at least for me, like in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Whereas a shit cookie, you got to think about it. Someone's got to bake it. Someone's got to shit into the fucking dough
Also,
and then cook
cooking
it.
poop is crazy. You got to move after that.
It's nuts.
Is it saying like they're adding like flour and sugar and?
I'm picturing that you make the dough, and then someone shits in the dough, and then you bake the cookies. That's what I think it is.
That's insane.
Insane.
And that's such a long process to be like, what am I doing?
Right, that's what I'm saying. You have so many opportunities to be like, never mind, I'm just going to here's, we used to have the mantra on the podcast many years ago was just jerk off, JJO. When you have some bad thoughts, when you have some you're going to do something that's going to fuck up your life, when you're going to do some questionable shit, just go jerk off. And if you still want to do it after you've cleared the pipes, then you know that you actually want to do that. Most often, you're going to go, oh, okay, never mind. I don't want to do that anymore. I guarantee most oftentimes, if you come before you eat the poop cookie, you'll be happy you didn't eat the poop cookie. I guarantee that. I guarantee the majority of poop cookie eaters, if they came first, would not eat the poop cookie. There's still going to be a couple freaks. Lana Rhodes is there, and she's like, open up the box. She's like, this is a cookie made with my poop. And there's going to be some freaks out there who still apparently eat it. But the most of you guys will come and be like, get that poop cookie out of here. What are you fucking doing?
The post-nut clarity of a poop cookie.
The worst is once you eat it and then come, and then you're just like,
that's insane. You got to clean up.
I got a poop cookie in my stomach.
Brush your teeth.
It's like, you probably want to get it out, but you don't want to throw up the poop cookie.
Oh my god.
Then you take a shit and you get the poop cookie in your...
Oh,
it's just a fucking... that is... I don't kink shame, but I do kink shame. I am full-blown kink shaming if you eat cookies with shit in them. Because it's just not even sexual. Like, even if you're into the peeing and shit. It's like you're doing weird things to someone else's body. Maybe it feels good for them. I don't know. What about, like, we're just sitting here. What? We're having sex. We're not, like, foreplay, and you just eat a fucking cookie that smells and tastes like shit? Disgusting. You deserve to be shamed. We need a little more shame in this world. That's the key to life, is a healthy dose of shame. Voicemails. Next up.
All right. John, you're a mess. Jackie, you got to stop saying like. Great show. First time, long time. Got to ask this question. Am I the asshole if every single time I do something or buy something, I just go, oh, I'm stimulating the U.S. economy. It's fine. Even if I don't have the funds, even if I'm not ready to go. Does that make me an asshole? Let me know what you think.
That's what we all do, right?
Yeah.
My thing is when I am in a bad situation financially, I will spend more because I'm like, well, what's the point? It's all gone.
Exactly.
You know, once I got below a certain level, like there was a period of time where like it got bleak. Like right before I got money, I got to like $0. Like I remember being like 30 something years old, being like, I have nothing to show for it. Like I got $0.
Didn't you check your credit and you were like shocked that you had like an 800 credit score? Or something like
my
that?
credit is still good though, because I don't really fuck around. That's how I lost all my money, because I don't really fuck around. Like when I buy something, I buy it out of cash. So when the money goes, the money goes. But I remember being like, I don't have any more money, and it was like right before my bonus came, and I was like, all right, I'm good. But there was like a week. Well, I really timed it out pretty fucking good. I was like, I got to get to like February, and boy, did I make it by the skin of my teeth. But once it got below a certain point, I was like, well, I'm broke.
Yeah.
So what's the difference if I have like only $1,000 left in my bank account or $1,200 left in my bank account? Buy those sneakers or whatever the fuck it was. Terrible way to think. And I did kind of do that knowing that money was coming, so you really shouldn't do that when you don't have actual money. But that's more my vice, is being like, well, what's another, you know? I'm doing it now. Even I know I'm in a better spot, but it's just like, oh, like, you know, the landscaper comes, like whatever he charges, like fine, and whatever this comes, like here you go, whatever. It's a drop in the ocean. By the way, taxes this year,
Brutal.
bro.
Oh, this is right. It's year one.
This is my big tax
Wow.
year, because I got it. Like, yeah, I think I got it at the end of last year, and then we deferred it. So like, this is the big tax bill on like all of my money, and it is fucking insane.
Turn you into a Republican.
Yeah, I had already been one, brother. but real hardcore Republican. You know what is unbelievable? I was thinking, and this is just so perfectly me. If Trump wins,
Yeah.
he was president, stopped being president, I got my money, I paid my taxes, he resumed being president. Like, motherfucker. The only period of time in the last decade where I could have got raped with taxes and fucked by Democrats was when my money hit.
Yeah.
If it was this time or that time, it would have been Trump being in there being like, keep all of it, keep it all. But no, of course, my payout coincided with Sleepy Joe. Vote red, folks. Vote red. All right, last voicemail.
What's up, KFC Radio crew? So today I'm here on business, okay? We need to give the people what they want. What they want is Jackie. What I have are 3 potential pieces of Rip It era merch. I've got 3 different designs for you to choose from on 3 potential pieces of merchandise. All right? Hit me up. I'm
Those
a
aren't
freelance
bad.
graphic designer with Insomnia.
Wait, I can't see.
I'm available almost all of the time.
Scroll back. Perhaps.
That's kind of my whole pitch. So, big fan. Viva.
Oh, yeah.
There.
Oh.
Keep going. There's some in
Designs for you
blue.
to choose from on
I
3
I
potential
think
pieces of merchandise.
we've already designed some other Jackie merch. We already designed some other Jackie merch from some of her other phrases.
Wait, but that girl is so good. Like, she's so talented.
You like that?
Yeah,
This
I mean,
is on
like,
me. I
we just-
actually answered this DM that it was sent to us, but it was like on a Sunday and I forgot about it.
So
Yeah.
I mean, we'll take a look if we really like that. It looks nice, but I don't like. We
I
gotta
mean,
make
we
sure
have it
we don't-
already.
What's that?
We have it like already.
Yours is ready?
Like we already have something.
Yeah, we already have something in the works. But like, if we like this better or whatever, we have some. We gotta get on that, Jackie. We gotta like do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we are in the Rip It era, and we have to capitalize on it. I need people to send in their Rip Its, whether they are failed Rip Its or successful Rip Its. Here's the deal. Send in your videos. In general, by the way, we need more videos, more voicemails. These were great today. These are great questions. So send in voicemails, video voicemails, and anybody who has a great Rip It story or a failed Rip It story, we will decide on who the best is, and you will get free merch, whether we put this out and you want it to be Rip It merch, or you want any of our stuff, anything in the store, free merch to anybody who calls in with the best I never said I was perfect / Rip It story, whether you succeeded or failed, because we gotta. It is the party rock era for Jackie, and you're all gonna go along for the ride with her on that one. So share your stories, because everybody's got them, and that's how we all know that everybody out here is living the same life. It's funny to learn that everybody's living the same life, basically. You can be rich or poor, you can have different jobs, live in different cities, guy, girl, dating, single, whatever. You also, at the end of the day, are kind of living the same life, where you're all just stumbling through it and feel the same way about certain things. So get your videos in.
Thank you to that girl. I really appreciate
that's great
that.
stuff. We'll if we decide to move forward with that, we'll hit her up.
Yeah.
Anytime people have ideas for merch or content, if we do select your design or whatever, we'll pay you, and we'll take care of you. So any ideas, always send them through. And let's get into our interview now. We got Akaash Singh on KFC Radio.
Fights, how old are you?
I'm 35.
And you?
39. Just turned 39.
Almost 40. Got
Yeah.
the hair, all of us.
Yeah.
God bless, dude.
Bro, we were just talking about would you rather have like terrible hair like George Costanza ring, or like terrible teeth like
Terrible hair.
You would rather have terrible
teeth
hair.
is just disgusting.
You guys are crazy.
Teeth is like,
But I can still just
yeah, but you're like yellow. It's like says something about you. Hair is like,
yellow.
that's
I guess is a little
unfortunate.
different.
Yeah.
We were talking more crooked.
Crooked, crooked's easier to fix.
Yeah, we were.
But like small teeth, like what the
Little-
fuck,
little-
dude? You look like you know what I
Itty
mean?
bitty baked beans.
You look like a rodent. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I don't know, man. There's something. I feel like when you have a head of hair, age at some point doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like as long as you got hair,
you
you're
won.
good.
You won.
Yeah. Like when you're a younger guy, it's like there's good looking and there's ugly and this guy's jacked and you're not and he's got eyes and and then you reach a point where it's just like there's hair and there's no hair.
Yeah.
And if you're on the right side of that, you're gonna get chicks, you can get a girlfriend, you can find a wife, all that shit. That's all that matters.
In Gaslit,
Yeah.
incredible special.
Thank you
So
so
good,
much,
man.
man.
So
Thank
You do something that I think pretty sure you've been a driver on this, that I'm surprised more comics don't do it, maybe more do it, I just don't see them.
Yeah.
You had 2 ad reads in it.
Yeah, it was an idea I got from Andrew, and then his same ad guy connected us with Prize Picks. And basically, when I made this special, it cost way more than I thought it would cost. And I paid for it, and I considered it an investment. It was fine. But it's a number that sits on you.
Yeah. Mhm.
And when you're single, financial fear isn't that real. I'm just like, whatever. Like, even when I was engaged to my wife and we weren't married, I was putting so much into Bitcoin. I was like, I just believe. Let's just keep dumping just disgusting amounts of, like, my percentage of net worth. And then when this happened, I spent all this money, but, like, now I have to consider her, and I have to mitigate risk where I can. So we talked about trying to get it to a streamer. And then my wife was actually not that into that, even though she's financially anxious. She was like, put it on YouTube. YouTube has always been good to you. These streamers, nobody gives a fuck. So she was into that, and I was like, okay, how can I mitigate the risk? And I made a deal with them if it gets a certain number of views, which I'm still, it's a big number. But I was
Still not there.
still.
Oh, you got a lot of views.
I promised them a big number.
We got to talk about your negotiation, dude.
Dude, CPM ain't shit. You know what I mean? Really?
You're like, what, 2 million?
What did I'm at 1.9 now almost. Yeah.
Dog,
Yeah.
how many did you promise?
8.5.
In
6 months. In 6 months. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, wait. So it's been out.
It's a month tomorrow, and it's at 1.9. So I'm
we gotta
on
keep the
pace.
ball
but
rolling,
yeah,
then.
that's guys. Please watch this fucking special. And then
You're going to be
basically,
impressed for the next 5 months still, bro.
but the number that I had to pay, dude. You're like a comedy special shouldn't cost that much money.
Right.
And then they start throwing these figures at me as we're planning what we're gonna do, and I'm like, what in the fuck? How are we multiple 6 figures? What's happening?
It's
And then,
sorry, no, I don't know.
but when I walk into the set the day before, I walk to the stage out of like the music hall we rented out, White Oak Music Hall, and I look and I see all these people, like 30 people just working to build a set and do the lights and like all this different shit that you don't consider when you take on this project, and you're like, oh, okay, I see what this money is going toward, but it's a big number.
Yeah.
So if I hit that number, it will pay me that plus a little bit more, not much, but like, okay, cool, we're good. And then the YouTube money is not crazy by any stretch, but that'll help. And then hopefully people want to come to shows after that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the main thing is the tickets and all that, right?
So yeah, but those ad breaks, my guy Kevin, who I don't think you guys have met him, he films and edits all my content. He was like, yo, you know what we should do? Have your mom call you. We'll put your mom in it. We'll fly down to Dallas. We'll do whatever we need to do. And I was like, that's fucking fire. The second one then should be my wife.
Yeah.
Because these are the 2 women who nag me to death.
Yep.
So
it's I'm glad you said that. I had 2 things I want to say. One, how did the crowd react? Like, did you do that to the crowd?
No. We filmed that after. Yeah. So AI
But you
has
still have
gotten
to give
so
like the
crazy.
setup, right?
No, AI's gotten so crazy that we filmed it on a green screen.
Really?
That set is AI behind me during the ad read.
It looks good.
Yeah, and then we tried to find organic places to put it in.
That's
where
very
she
cool.
calls, and then we faked the phone call, so we filmed it with me, and then my mom, I had to fly to Dallas, and I had to really like coach her every line. I'd be like, say it again, say it again, say it again, say it again. But she's
It's great though. That's brilliant, man. It's
Thank
funny.
you, man.
It's just like you just have to think of new ways.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this is how it's always done. Fine.
Yeah.
But what if we did it this way? You know,
Yeah,
like just
and
come up with a different spot for an ad read, different way to do an ad read, different place to put it. You know?
Truly happy with how it came out, and I really think I'm the worst actor in my family. It's really funny because I'm watching myself like this guy sucks, and I'm watching my mom like that's pretty good, and I'm watching my wife like you're actually very natural at this, and it really fucking annoys me. It really fucking annoys me. Yeah.
You had a line in the special that I thought was so good, and it wasn't any like that important to you, I don't think. But when you talk about your racist grandfather and how he wasn't always racist, he just refused to evolve.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like a very cool way to put it, where it was like he wasn't always thought of as a racist guy.
He was a guy.
Eventually, you just become racist because of your
the
thoughts.
guy. But if you don't change with the world, and I was thinking about how much I loved like your first half hour, 45 minutes or so. You did a lot of talking about your wife.
Yeah.
And I thought it was like. I feel like older comics used to do a lot of like stuff about their wives and how they annoyed them, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But when you do it, it's so clear how much you love her too, that it comes off completely differently. And I
It's
thought
not like the hacky,
Yeah.
like, the old ball and chain type shit. You
that
know?
was a big. Actually, I got that note one time. I did like a 5-minute set and it didn't go well, and I made some jokes about my wife. And then this kid said to me, he was a friend of mine. And he was like, you know what's funny is you make these jokes about your wife, but what I don't think the audience understands is you also love your wife more than pretty much anyone I know.
Yeah.
And that's not to say I'm like some fucking perfect husband. I don't want to make it sound like that. But I was like, oh, yeah, and that's something I had realized I just forget to apply it sometimes. You got to be 3-dimensional in your bit. You can't just... Every point of view you have to also consider what they say, the steelman argument or whatever, even like what's the other side of this.
Yeah.
So my wife is a pain in my ass. She also loves me in a way that I didn't know it was possible to be loved. I love her in a way I didn't know it was possible for me to love. But she's a pain in my ass.
Yes.
And I'll die
All
for
that can happen.
And let's
Yeah.
try to put all of that in there, and then you're looking at me differently as opposed to just a guy who complains about his wife. What also annoyed me is these guys who... all they do is talk about how great women are and how like and they're great, but like let's talk about all of it and let's try to do it in a way. And that's where I thought there was a kind of a maybe something that wasn't being done necessarily. We're all talking about our wives, but I didn't think there's a lot of like comics who are like contrarian driven who will also talk about the relationship in with hopefully that same kind of energy.
Yes. Yeah. No, it was. And then when you said the line about evolving as a grandfather and stuff like that, I like thought back on that and I was like, oh, that is the evolution of kind of Akaash and
thank
that
you.
comedy. Where I was
You're
like,
the first person that's pointed. That's what I'm trying to show is what I'm hoping to showcase over the career is just like an honest reflection of me and how I grow as a person throughout my career. That's what I'm hoping gets reflected naturally.
it did.
aging
It did.
aging appropriately.
That's what I'm.
is
Yeah.
so important, especially like
hard,
in this
though.
in this type of industry. Like, if you want to play Peter Pan and stay young for life, you could, dog.
It seems
you know?
so fun.
Yeah, I mean, you
It
could
seems
just be
so fun.
You know, like do whatever you want forever, and just let it be that way, you know?
You see these comics who are out there and they're just like acting like chill, and underneath all of it, I'm sure it's empty, but on the surface, that shit is so fun. No one to answer to. They're out till 6 a.m. just slaying whatever pussy. It's just traveling. No one to answer to. No financial responsibility to anybody else. It seems so fun. I'm sure they're sad at points, but I'm like, God damn, that's fun.
I don't know though. At the same time, we've seen a couple acts that are.
Oh yeah, that's true. Good point. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, like we've seen a couple acts where someone's up on stage and they're just screaming at the crowd and mad and like just, you know, you can tell it's all because like their act isn't going well and this, that, and the other.
I be doing that.
And
too.
It's like
I be doing that.
Oh, this seems like you got some problems and some issues.
Oh, I
that
was
you're
even
working through.
thinking there is like a kind of like, you'll see some comics who are like really funny, and then here's what this thing is not a complete meritocracy. You need luck, but you can get to a certain level off of skill if you don't get in your own way. And I see some comics who are so fucking talented, so funny, destroy, but they don't get to that level, and it's obvious they got in their own way. And then still seeing them like after like a 15-minute set at a comedy club, like kind of hanging out, waiting for people to come up to them. I'm like, oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
That one, I'm like, God damn, that's sad. You need that. Like, most comics, I got another spot to go to. I got whatever. Some of these guys will just, the show, they're hanging out at the bar. Then the show gets out and something like, oof, let me go smoke a cigarette or whatever. And you're like, oh, you just want to be out there.
Yeah.
So people can tell you how funny you were. Yeah.
That's one of those like where it's annoying when it happens naturally. When it stops happening naturally, you're like,
Yeah, it's a good
Ooh.
problem to
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
And naturally is great.
Yeah.
But when you're seeking it out inorganically, I find that a bit like, oh, there's something missing.
Right,
Beyond it. There's something that you're missing. And I hope to not have that void. We have a void a little bit, but you know what I mean? Try to fill it.
Yeah, but I mean, you were. How old were you? Would you say when things like really took off with Flagrant?
Oh, I was old, dude. I was 20. 2017 we started Flagrant, so I was 30.
That's not old though, bro.
33
You know what I mean?
started. 2018 went broke because I was on these MTV shows, and what I didn't count on is all of them being taken away at that 1 year. Because maybe they just looked at me and they were like, he's old. I don't know. But I had like 7 MTV shows. I wasn't making crazy money. I was making like low 6 figures.
Wait, what do you mean you had 7?
I was on like Guy Code versus Girl Code. I had a voiceover on another show. I was on a show called Safe Word. I was on a couple other projects I can't even think of. I think one was a Netflix. It was a show we shot independently, and then Netflix picked it up. And I was like, oh, if they give us season 2, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And you think it's going to keep going up. I'm 32 or whatever, living not check to check, but year to year. And I'm like, all right, this is going to be good. I'm with my girlfriend at the time. She moved into our place, and then all of a sudden, end of 2017, all the shows started suddenly getting canceled one by one. So I went from making like a low 6 figures, nothing crazy, but 6 figures in 2017 to 2018, probably making like $4,000 for the whole year. I'm not even exaggerating. I'd be surprised if it hit 4,000, to be honest with you. And you're thinking, well, I got this big bushel of shows. One gets canceled. You're like, yeah, but I got all these. Then another one gets canceled. And like, yeah, but I got these. And then one by one. And then the only show that didn't get canceled, they were like, we don't want you back. So I'm going broke. So 2018, we're doing Flagrant. My wife, financially anxious person, is like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we're talking about getting married? Is this what it's going to be? I don't have an answer for her. I'm like, this flagrant thing, I think. I believe in this. Then I start wondering, like, am I just saying that because that's all I have left?
Yeah.
And then luckily we started the Patreon because I went so broke we had to. And that's October 2018. So end of 2017 till end of 2018 was rough, but October 2018, I think I started being like, okay, I'm making enough to survive, and then it went up and up.
On the Patreon.
Yeah, and then it went up and up. Yeah.
So your brokenness is what led to your wealth.
Yeah.
Right?
Dude, sometimes you need like no safety net. You know, it's like there's no more fucking around.
Yeah,
you gotta go.
I don't know if I do it again that way, but that is what
now,
what
but
caused
was
it.
that you specifically, or was like Andrew in the same spot?
Well,
Like,
Andrew,
everybody was
Andrew was
kinda
doing
like, we
great.
need
Andrew was
Patreon.
starting to blow up, to be honest with you. His whole ascension had begun. And so his plate was full. And the idea of doing another episode, and we were like extrapolating percentages of other Patreons, and he was like, I don't know if it's going to make that much, man. Like, you're asking me to do a lot of work for this. And then I went so broke, I said, I'm literally pleading with you at this point.
Please. Yeah. Wow.
He was going to like loan me money, and luckily I got a tax refund that was going to hold me over, but I was down to my last. And then I got a tax refund. I was like, I'm good. I don't need the money. Thank you. He was like, you need it. Let me know. And I was like, I'm good, but I'm pleading with you. Let's start this Patreon. And then we started it, and then he really was like, got the idea of the community, and that was a very, like, at the time, there weren't a lot of people doing that. Like, everybody on the Patreon, let's help each other out.
Yeah.
If you sell cars and somebody needs a car, hook them up. Like, and then that was like the beginning of really building and being like, okay,
That
okay.
is crazy to think, though, because I do think a big part of your guys' universe of success is that.
Yeah.
And if there wasn't, because you can also, a fan base is one thing. A Patreon where it's like people are paying for that extra episode, but they really are almost investing in you. You know what I mean? And when you have the vibe of like, I love this comic and it seems like he needs some money, like let me help out.
Yeah.
And it becomes that. That's what, like, that Flagrant world is built on that.
Yeah.
I feel at least. And if you didn't do that, who knows? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Having
think
that universe expand in that way, all because you were like, bro, we got to do something here.
Yeah, it worked out really well. Just the idea of having it be a community, and like he would put like a long note at the beginning every Sunday. He would just have like a note from Schultz to everybody.
Oh,
And
really?
it was just like, it was a really fucking cool thing. I think as you get busier, you kind of forget about these things. But like, that'd be great to keep doing.
From our point of view, with Barstool, in the very beginning, we were kind of the same way, like grassroots, and there was a fan base that like wanted us to succeed. And when we started to get mentioned by like mainstream places and things like that, it was like, oh, it's really working. That's so far gone now, though. Like, it's such a big company that like. You're not the underdog ever again.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Even if you are, like, because at Barstool you're very segmented. Just because those guys over there are making $1 billion and on top of the world, over here you're still grinding, but you're part of this big company. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got to have the ability to play that card almost. Be in that role. But when you have the audience that like will do it for you, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's everything, right? I mean, that's
and if you can, as connected to the community is a lesson I'm trying to even carry forward, is like as connected as to your fans as you can be is great. I'm just not good at like, I try to give to my, like if I'm doing a meet and greet, I try to make sure that an interaction is not a fucking, hey, shake my hand, take a picture. I'm not going to ask you about your dog, but like, hey man, how are you? I'm trying to give you energy. And that is exhausting.
Dude, it really is.
Over and over and over again. So there's times where I'm like, I don't have it in me. I don't
think people get that.
Yeah.
Because you hear stories about like when someone turns somebody down for an autograph or a picture or whatever, and on the surface that seems a certain way, and it's so different than that.
Luckily, I'm not famous enough to have, not nearly famous enough probably to have ever turned anyone down for a picture like that. But sometimes it's like, dude, I'm like.
But the will to like do it, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, just do a meet and greet at your show, like whatever. It's like, no, bro. Especially when you start selling out the way you guys are, it's like there's a lot of fucking people.
Even at my level at a club, if it's sold out, that's 300-400 people. If they all want a thing, I have to do that and then go to another show.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you? Like genuinely smile, genuinely give joy, and I'm so thankful. But like, you gotta build energy. You have to do that. That takes an energy. Then go back do another show. And then do it again. And it's like, it's a blessing. These are amazing problems to have. But sometimes I'm like, oof, I don't know, maybe no meet and greet at the show. If an audience doesn't give me much energy, or if it's like they're like super drunk, I'm like, well, I don't think we need to do this.
I have a hard time. I think I'm pretty good at the energy matching, but I always think I have a hard time interacting with fans because it's almost like it's a love you don't feel like you deserve. Not that they're like.
I get that.
But like, I'm comparing that to like a love from a singular woman, not like fans are treating you like the Beatles. But like, you're like, I don't know why you like me. Like, I don't.
Well, yeah, we have some self-esteem issues here.
Yeah.
A little bit of
I get
imposter syndrome mixed with low self-esteem. And,
I don't think I have imposter syndrome. I think imposter syndrome gets thrown
I
a
throw
lot.
that around like, I don't even.
I wait,
I actually think I do have imposter syndrome. I think, imposter syndrome basically means like you don't think you are really
like
deserving
you're always scared
of
of getting found out that you're a
Oh,
fake
that
guy.
I don't feel like. But like,
this is so hacky, but this is 6-7 years ago. I used to get called, right before I would get called on stage at a comedy club, I would think to myself my exact thoughts, and I didn't even notice it until like a lot of therapy, but I would very quickly in my brain, it would flash, I hope they don't realize I'm a complete phony. And then I used to listen to my sets, and I would notice this like kind of frantic thing sometimes, and I couldn't figure out what it was, and it would drive me crazy because I hated it about myself. I knew I was losing it. Nobody else could really sense it, but on some level they could. But then I realized if I didn't get a laugh, my brain would start going, holy shit, they're finding out I'm a fraud. And I would start talking faster and cussing more and moving more. And like, I'm not saying that never happens now, but that was something I had to really key in on. And now if the audience doesn't laugh, or I think they'll laugh, or if I say it, I kind of have to grab that part of my brain and be like, yo, it's cool. You're funny.
Yeah.
Just give it time.
Totally.
And if this doesn't go well, that doesn't make you not funny. And if it goes great, that doesn't make you automatically funny. You're funny because of a body of work. That's what defines you, not one show, good or bad.
That's a lot of therapy right there.
I can feel like, I mean, we don't have like a set routine that we do. But when we've done podcasts,
Yeah.
if I said something that I thought was funny and it didn't land,
Yeah.
like instantly can feel my body change. Like I start getting hot, I
Yeah.
start sweat, like within
Oh, it's
seconds,
the hottest
you
place
know
in
what
the
I mean?
world.
Yeah,
Dude, I
it's
saw a
like-
clip of LeBron James getting interviewed by Steven Smith. You remember, or Steve Smith, shooting guard for
Yeah.
the Hawks. And LeBron it's like 2012. He's peak of his powers. He makes a joke. He says something, laughs. Steve Smith doesn't laugh, and he's like, so anyway, and I was like, yo, that could happen to LeBron. Dude.
Anybody
If it
can
happens
feel
to
that
LeBron,
way.
it can happen to us. It's fine. It's okay.
Have you listened to his podcast at all?
Oh, I listened to the first episode. It's amazing. It's over my head, but it's amazing.
Well, that's the thing. I'm stunned by. First of all, they open up with JJ Redick doing like an intro of sorts.
Yeah.
I want to get to LeBron.
Oh, I needed that.
Oh, well,
I needed that to know
that's
what's
the
going
thing.
on.
You do need it.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm surprised by. Like, it is so technical. And I mean, I guess, they're pretty upfront about that, being like, we're talking about the game of basketball here. But it is like, you're talking X's and O's like you're in a film session
Yeah.
with these guys.
Yeah.
When I thought it was going to be more, I don't know how much of an audience there is for that. Like, people love basketball, but on that level, like, you really got to know your shit to even
think-
understand what they're talking about.
I also think because it's LeBron, you're drawn. You're like,
Yeah.
I want to hear.
Or any of it, yeah.
Yeah, and we never hear that.
But
We
I
don't-
would like to hear him more talk about like his life and like being like what it's like to be a professional basketball player more than like the plays he was running.
I think
we'll
we'll get that down the
I was
road.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that
Post-retirement.
it's like episode 3, like any podcast,
Yeah.
right? You start like we gotta talk about our topic, and then every podcast just goes
Yeah.
about the podcast host life.
Yeah.
Right, because when they do lighten up, they're talking about watching their own highlights. I thought that was very cool. Like, JJ Redick was like, we've all been there where you're in a slump and you go on YouTube and you type in, and JJ Redick down to is obviously two
Oh,
different
he has
players.
crazy recall.
But he has down to a specific game. He was like March 27th, like in Detroit. Like I put up 27 points, and I watched like that specific game. And I actually almost feel like LeBron was kind of like throwing him a bone, being like, yeah, we all watch our highlights, like
Yeah.
to get back on track. I think he's like, I don't,
No.
I barely need to do that.
I've seen an extended version of that clip.
Oh yeah.
And LeBron, and like JJ doesn't let LeBron off the hook. Where he's
Yeah,
like,
he says like we all do it,
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
But I got the impression listening. I wasn't watching, so I listened to that. But
watching it, the LeBron kind of you
can tell
he's
he
like
does.
laughing. He's like it looks like someone got his hand caught in the candy jar. He's like,
That's great.
that to me is more interesting than like So like X5 comes up and sets the back screen, and you gotta.
We had JJ on the pod. He was awesome, but I loved him before that. I think he was like sorely missing in sports analysis. Guys like that.
Yeah.
the
Like,
modern day.
athletes talking about the game without just having hot takes to have hot takes so they can stay on the air.
Yeah.
And at the fucking nuance level, I was like, I said to him, you might change the trajectory of what sports analysis is.
Yeah.
And I think that was probably overstated. And he was like, I do think I filled a void that was needed.
Right.
And I think talking about the game with nuance. Because, like, Kendrick Perkins is so funny to me, but he just saying crazy shit to say crazy shit.
Well, we were talking about the other day with Paul Pierce, where there was a headline from Paul Pierce. I love that, like
Julius Randle will bone you. Him and Kevin Garnett going back and forth. So funny.
that's the thing with I think it was an awful announcing post, and it was like Paul Pierce says bizarre thing on ESPN.
Yeah.
And I was like thinking about all the other things Paul Pierce does when he's not on ESPN.
Yeah.
And it's him just like shit faced with KG. I'm like, yeah, every time he goes on ESPN, he says something bizarre, like a drunk man would.
Yeah, he's been built like an alcoholic since 2004. I don't know why we're shocked he drinks.
That one clip where he's on a live stream talking about like hiring girlfriends for the night, and KG's like, so we live here, we're live on the show, and he's like, you can get these girls like for free, basically. He's like, so we are live,
I need to see this clip.
It's so good.
I need
He's
to
talking
see
about
this clip.
hiring girlfriends for the night, and he's like, they're so
if you
cheap,
are
dude.
a professional basketball player and black and not in phenomenal shape, a guard, you got a drinking problem. I'm convinced there's something going on. There's no way you just black in a professional athlete, basketball, a guard, a 2-guard, a swing, a 2-3.
Dude, he
and
always
you got
was like not.
and you're not. Yeah, you should look like Kobe.
All these guys are like flying high and chiseled, and he was always just like, I'm gonna shoot from the extended elbow and hit it every time.
Yeah.
And then go to
You got
fucking.
stabbed like 12 times outside a club?
Yeah. Probably
right.
drunk.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably
you
started
think
the fight.
Paul Baby didn't say something to deserve 12 stabbings? you can get like a fight where someone stabs you and you're like, dude, that was over the line. If you get stabbed 12 times, you probably had said some shit.
We are victim blaming like a motherfucker here.
I'm a Paul fan, but the guy said some crazy
You
shit.
deserve it. I remember. I mean, I feel like in the beginning, Flagrant was very like basketball heavy.
A lot of sports,
right?
yeah.
It was
Which
like
I miss
a
at
sports
times. I
podcast.
love the pod, obviously, but I do miss the sports talk. I love football. I love the NFL. College, I don't really keep up.
Cowboys.
Oh, can I tell you how much I fucking hate the Cowboys?
But yeah, so the pod was like a sports thing, and then when do you think
I
that
think
changed?
sports.
When,
the idea initially was because Charles never liked sports as much as I did, but the idea when we started talking about doing a pod is like the politics. I don't know if you 2016. It was just so loud. Trump had just won the election. It was so loud, so noisy politically. Everything was political, and it still is now, but not. 2016 was even more.
Yeah.
So we were thinking sports fans kind of just leave all this shit alone. And then early on, I remember being like we should start saying some of our crazy jokes. And he was like, we'll start having that opportunity. Just it'll come. And he had been doing Brilliant Idiots for like 5 years at that point. So we just kind of like started doing more and more and more jokes, and then just kind of morphed into a comedy pod, which I think was kind of the idea initially. But sports was the Trojan horse for it.
We see it all the time, man. It's like
That's kind of what I think with LeBron, where
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
breaking down
Yeah.
games. Is,
one of the worst things for us that we never had our Trojan horse. It's like everybody here started a hockey podcast, and then they started talking about chicks and partying and going on the
Yeah.
road, and it became funny. The golf guys, they talk about golf, but then they're talking about hypothetical situations in fucking outer space and all this shit. And we were always just kind of already that from the jump, but having that initial thing of like, I like that, I'll listen to that, and then you're all of a sudden, years later, you're like, wait a minute, we're not even talking about the thing I initially came here for.
Yeah.
There was such a boom with that too. It was like perfect timing. I mean, that comedy. Do you think we've reached a saturation point?
I hope not.
Yeah.
But I do kind of look at it like how much, and this is the I guess the scarcity thing my brain is doing, where it's like how many more comics are they gonna have arena shows?
yeah.
Bro, I said that too. It's like, I mean, arenas are arenas, but there's a level. It's weird. It's like it used to be like 3 guys can do it.
Yeah.
And now like a lot of people can do it.
Yeah.
It's
And so part of
but
me is
hey,
like,
if you can, I mean, ball don't lie sort of thing, right? If you can sell that many tickets, you can sell that many tickets.
and the
but-
one thing I'm kind of hoping, because the 80s comedy went crazy. Their stand-up comedy apparently just went nuts, and in the 90s it kind of just like died out. And what I try to remind myself is there were still comics that got famous in the 90s. I mean, Chris Rock was 95, but like that was the 90s, 94
right,
maybe.
late 90s Chappelle.
Yeah, Chappelle was late 90s. So, like, there will still be people that pop. And it might not be the same, but I also think there might be more sustainability just because comedy has acquired a fandom. Like, there's just a much bigger contingent of people who are like, no, I'm a stand-up comedy fan. This isn't like a novel thing anymore. I'm just into it.
Yeah.
And I love the subculture of the comedy podcasts, and the subculture of comedy podcasts has gotten so big. There's a subculture of people who just criticize comedy.
Yo, it's crazy. I think it's like sports and then comedy. Like you have your comics that you like, the same way you have your athletes, your teams that you like, and you root for them, and you root against the other ones that they like don't fuck with.
Yeah.
And you make commentary on it. You talk about it. Like it's its own ecosystem at this point now. The same way. There's going to be fucking fantasy comedy at some point. You're going to draft your fucking favorite comics. I mean, once these motherfuckers realize that, like you can get a lot of views on YouTube just talking shit.
Yeah.
And I think these commenters and trolls basically figure that out now.
Yeah.
So it's like they're going to keep doing this shit, and it's going to be a whole subculture, like you said, of just talking about these people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy, but
My mom was just telling me about how some of the restaurants around them are starting to have like open mic nights with dinner, and I
Where is this?
In Westport, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And I was like, All right, that might be the end.
I think we've hit it. We've hit our breaking point.
I think you're absolutely right.
Like when first of all, when industries outside of that industry start seeing
Yeah.
the financials that can be helped by it, you start to worry. And then when just every Joe Schmo thinks they can do it, then you're like,
Yeah.
all right, it might be
Yeah.
it'd be coming up.
might be getting
Bill
late
might
early.
be coming due soon.
I know. At the same time, though, I feel like the industry is still fucking absolutely booming. So you can't.
That's
you know,
what
like
I'm
on
hoping
a-
it lasts, as long as it can. What I've always also thought is, for me, obviously my identity, my ethnicity, my nationality, or I'm Indian, right? Indian American. So that's always been very important to me. And I've always felt like once Indians, for everybody I've seen that gets famous that's South Asian, collectively, Indians or Desis kind of decide, they're like, no, that's our guy.
Yeah.
For me, I just need to get exposed to enough of them for them to be like, oh, that guy's there? Oh, that's our guy.
Right.
And then you're out of here. For like, we're not crazy in numbers, but typically once we find out somebody, like everybody else likes you and you're brown, we're like, oh, if you guys like them, we
And
love them.
you don't
And
think
then
you're
we
there?
flock. Not necessarily, no. Because
Oh, wow. I
it's a
thought you-
difference of like, I'm talking like 30,000 tickets in a city
Yeah,
versus
yeah, right.
3,000 or whatever.
I think you're on your
it's
way,
a
though,
10x
brother.
multiplier. That's what I'm hoping for.
I think, yeah.
That was the only reason I was considering a streamer, really. Because there's a weird thing with South Asians, maybe a lot of like African immigrants feel this way too, but external validation means a lot.
Yeah.
Like if you ask definitely South Asian parents, would you rather your kid make $120,000 a year and go to Harvard or $190,000 a year and go to community college? They'd be like, Harvard. Wouldn't even fucking think twice. So I think I've seen this, like Aziz. I saw Aziz for years. I mean, because I was a comic, so I just knew of him. None of my brown friends gave a fuck about Aziz. Then when those late night clips started kind of going viral, they were like, oh, he's our guy.
Yeah.
And then he went from theaters to MSG twice. Like the gap was crazy. Theaters is, if you're doing 2 theater shows, that's 5,000 seats, maybe big theater. MSG twice is 25,000 seats.
Crazy.
Again, 10x.
And it went fast. Like
Yeah,
it
the
was
first
not-
one for sure went fast. Second one, I'm not as sure, but even one, that's 14,000.
No, I mean the jump went fast.
Oh, the
like
jump.
it-
Yeah, it seemed like in a year. To me, that's what it seemed like.
wild.
So that's why I'm still feeling like that's the thing. Once I get them, because I feel like authentically I'm for us. Without, you're not a demographic to me. I mean, it would help me, and I'd love that.
Yeah.
But I'm truly trying to do it for everybody, but also to represent
Just like
us
your
well
boy Hassan,
at all
right?
times.
I'm gonna get you on. One day you're gonna say that. I'm like,
Let me
no,
just say,
we're gonna-
I think I told you, right? I've known this guy for years, so I have different reasons for. I know him. We're good.
What about this is a ham-fisted segue, but I gotta talk about.
I don't know what ham-fisted means, but I trust you.
That white chick in the front row. That was one of the most incredible things.
Oh, the
I've-
albino Pakistani girl.
I mean,
Dude.
Oh, dude, she was Suffiza. She was so sweet. I'm so glad that it's being received well and nobody's like, because I was just looking at her. I thought it was a brown guy with a white girl, and I'm just asking questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she said Muzmatch, and I was like, this
That-
white
that-
bitch is
Muzmatch
on
is
that is
Muzmatch.
dude.
crazy.
I was like,
Muzmatch is
you
Like,
bitch,
what?
dude. I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I was so angry. And then when she said she was Pakistani, that's when I kind of realized, like, oh, okay, probably albinism or something.
Yeah.
But, like, that's not a funny thing to acknowledge here. So you just try to have as much fun with it as you can. And I was unbelievably... So that was the second taping.
chances of that are like, you're like,
I was gonna
what?
say-
An albino Muslim girl? What are you talking
If it
about?
was
What are
any
the
other show
chances?
taping, it wouldn't have been as funny because I did 4 tapings and then you piece together the funniest moments. First taping, I'm dumb nervous. It's the first taping. 17 years I've been doing stand-up. It's all going to this. And I hit enough beats in the first taping that I was like, and the next 3 were good. So I have one more taping that night, and I remember saying to Kevin, my guy, my camera guy, I was like, yo, I'm so not nervous, I'm getting a little nervous.
Yeah.
How relaxed I am. Because I just knew I hit like 98% of my marks, and we had more than enough for the next 3 shows. So that show, I was like super relaxed. Almost to a fault, I thought. But then when that happened, like me just leaning forward and crouching down, I was like, let me just have fun with this, because we got it. And then weirdly, everybody after that second show was like, that was the best show. The third and fourth are going to be even better. And then I started feeling pressure like a loser to be like, well, these got to be better than So those weren't as good. But that second show, if it was any other show that happened, I don't think that moment would have been as good.
That was crazy. I honestly, it never struck my mind that she was albino until right now. I just thought she was like
Just
a white woman.
Right.
I could be
converted
wrong.
or something like
That was my thought. Is she probably has albinism, and so sweet, just beautiful girl, good looking guy, like a nice little couple, cute, like just adorable. And I'm glad it's not, because I was worried people would think I was being mean, or they might make comments, and like everybody's been great.
No, yeah,
it's
not
very
at all.
rare you get a YouTube video where the comments are pretty much all good. Or like,
Yeah. No, you
the worst I'm hearing is like Pakistani's not a race or whatever. I'm like, who gives a fuck? That has nothing to do with anything. That's good.
That's awesome. We got to get that 8 million.
Yeah. Tell people. If you got an Indian friend, tell him to tell his friends or her.
Before I let you go,
Eclipse time, baby.
I was gonna
It's
say we got to
Eclipse
get our
time.
Eclipse.
Also, we got to do. I wanted to say we're gonna do a dinner.
Yeah.
We've kind of gotten like a will they won't they thing going now.
I know, dude.
I kind of don't want to ruin that.
I know. But you did come to the show, which is very sweet. I remember we had a show after last time I was on here at Caroline's. You
Yes.
came. That was very sweet of you.
Yep.
I think you had family stuff, but you came, which is very sweet. And we'll get this dinner.
we'll
Sushi
get
or
that.
something.
I think I declared hip hop fully dead after J. Cole apologized to
but you were
Kendrick
on
last
J.
night.
Cole's side. How do you feel? You feel betrayed?
Well, I'm not a J. Cole guy. I like J. Cole, but I don't really like either of them. So I was kind of an impartial. I just think that the way people were acting like Kendrick Lamar spit like the greatest battle rap of all time when he was like, "Stop talking about me in the big three." That's like all he really said.
Yeah.
And then I thought J. Cole brought up some interesting, like, I think there is some talk. Like, I think there's some validity to, like, he has a good discography, but do people really play it? Do you listen to it? I know it wins Grammys. I thought there was something there. So I was more leaning towards J. Cole's side. If I was, like, a diehard J. Cole guy and I was, like, arguing and fighting and then he did that shit, I would be like, I'm never listening to you again.
I know.
It's the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen.
It's good for him, I guess, and his peace of mind. I don't give a fuck.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan,
I was saying, if this was one of those battles that's, like, dangerous or bad for the culture
Yeah, these guys.
or whatever, I'd be like, I could understand someone being like, I don't want to do this. I make money. I have a good life. I'm not getting involved in, like, gang shit or violence or whatever. This is, like, what you do in hip-hop.
I also do remember thinking during that first-person shooter verse, I honestly think I remember being like, he does feel like he's leaving Kendrick out of some of this stuff. Like the Spider-Man meme is me looking at Drake. I think I remember
But then
listening
he said
to
the
it.
big three.
Yeah,
If you're on a song with two people and you're bringing in a third, I feel like you're almost going out of your way to mention him.
Yeah, but I still remember being like, yeah, you're mentioning him, but then you're saying that Spider-Man meme thing was when I was like, ooh. Because you're mentioning him, but now you're not.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I remember thinking, that could be received. And then he had a line that said the word steppers. I forget what it was. And maybe that, because Mr. Morales.
Stepper,
and,
yeah.
Mr. Morales, I guess. In the
I just
big
feel like
steppers.
also if that song was better received over the weekend, he ain't apologizing. You know what I mean?
That's interesting.
Like if everyone was like, "Yo, you killed him," the vibe was pretty much like, there's some people on the side, some people not, but most of it was like,
As an objective viewer, I didn't listen to the song, but I did read a line or read a few. It seemed like he was just like, "Hey, you're pretty good, man."
Well, that's the
Like-
problem when you're being
Like your
you got-
first
he was like, your
shit
first song was a classic, and then your
second
third
song,
thing.
your second, that was really good. And your third one, I won a couple Grammys, sure.
Well, that's in his apology. He's like, I was trying to take jabs and like think of an angle to come at my guy, but like he just likes him. He's a fan. You know what I mean? It's hard. The whole battle was doomed from the jump if you don't actually really hate each other, because it's like, yeah, man, you were really, really good, but like also that one time I didn't think you were the best.
I also
That
saw a
can't be
clip.
your fucking battle.
I'm not a huge I'm 40 and I'm not black, so I feel like hip hop for me to stay up like really into it, I almost feel like goofy. But
these are our guys.
These are
You know,
this
I'm
is-
not. If you're,
I was a
if we're
Jay-Z
talking about
Nas
fucking-
growing
yeah.
up with that, but
Yeah.
this I was like, look, I don't make it through most Kendrick albums. I don't. But what I love about Kendrick, that control verse and this, where he's like, no, I'm the fucking best, and I'm gonna say it
trying to come
on
at all of
tape
you.
to everyone. I don't care. It's not even hate. I'm the best. I love that shit. And I felt that was the energy he had, and his response was like, it's just big me. Even the way if you listen to it, the way he delivers it was with so much passion. And J. Cole, it's kind of dispassionate, his response. It's factual. It's making a lot of sense, but like, it doesn't hit you here. The Kendrick shit, I think people thought he won just because he says it like, with his
Said it with
fucking
his
chest. Yeah.
I feel that.
But I did see. I'm like not much of a rap guy. I particularly was not a J. Cole guy. I never really heard a song that moved me, so to speak. But I saw a clip of him after all this with Nardwar. Do you see that?
Oh, where he put Kendrick on.
He put Kendrick on, and I thought that was very cool. And I
Yeah.
thought it was very cool the way J. Cole handled it in the sense where he's like, look, I'm not saying I was the first guy. I don't even know if Dre cared that I told him. But yes, I told Dre, you should get this kid.
Yeah,
Kendrick.
yeah, he seems like a great guy. And this
It's
sucks.
tough to be like, I like you, man. I don't want to fucking do this, but
It
everyone's
also
asking me
sucks
to,
'cause
so I got
Drake's not going to respond. So we've been waiting for this battle for 10 years.
almost
It's not going to
fucking-
happen because Drake has more to lose. And I'm a Drake hater just because I feel like I can't. Drake, I want to live vicariously through my rappers. I'm sure that's if you grow up in a suburb, it's like, I didn't live this. I want to know what it's like. But Drake is like, I can't live I don't care to live vicariously through fucking a bunch of girls. I'm going to live vicariously through DMX. So I've always kind of hated on Drake. I acknowledge he's a lot of people's GOAT, and he's probably going to be widely considered the greatest ever when it's all, in 5 years. But I just want, I want somebody to fucking... And I don't think he has anything to gain by responding.
No.
So
Yeah.
he's
It's
not
tough.
going
You
to
get to a point where you're like, "This, I have more to lose than gain."
And he's not gonna
unless you if you murder it, you'll go like, okay, from the tippity top to the tippity top.
Yeah.
But if you bomb, you take a big step down.
Big, and
So
then he
it's-
lost a push already, so it's like that's 2.
Yeah.
And it just stains. He's not going to risk the stain. So we're never going to get this back.
I almost can't knock it either, though.
I know.
It's hard.
But I
Unless
just
you,
wanna
like,
hear
you
these
gotta
songs.
I know. That's the other thing. Is if we could all agree to just like, hey, let's not like, as a collective, argue that this person like career sucks now.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like LeBron with the dunk contest. It's like if we weren't so sick about it, maybe he would do it.
Yeah.
But the minute that he like sucks at the dunk contest, we're gonna be like, you're not as good as Jordan. Fuck you. It's like, well, if we didn't act like that, maybe we would have done it. You know?
Yeah. 1000%.
Let's go look at this eclipse.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.